What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to this Anfield Agenda special topic. I'm going to be going through and reacting to your unpopular Liverpool opinions. Connor has set this up in the background, and truthfully, I haven't seen these opinions yet, so we're going to be going through them in real time together. I don't even know how many there is, quite frankly, so bear with me as we, discover these unpopular opinions together. Feel free to let me know your reactions in the comment section. Drop a like on this video if you enjoy it, and I hope that you're all doing okay during this October international break. A little reminder as well, our last ever stage show is coming up at the Hot Water Comedy Club Liverpool. We will take to the stage for the final time Sunday the 19th of October. Tickets are priced at just £15. It's an all ages event, and all of the money we raise from our side and ticket sales will be going to the GoFundMe for Joe's wheelchair basketball chair. Right, let's get stuck into them and see what people have to say. I'm both excited and nervous by these because I don't know what to expect. So let's start off with the first one. Punk Not Found said, Wirtz hasn't played bad at all, and if we could easily take our chances, could have easily had 3 or 4 assists versus Galatasaray. Playing a slower system kills the strengths that made him so good at Leverkusen because it allows for the pockets of space to close before he's able to use them. So I guess the only part of that, my man, that I would say is an unpopular opinion might be the first part of it. Because I agree with a lot of what you've written there, especially about the space and the time he's not getting that maybe he would have in the Bundesliga. So yeah, I'm with you on most of it. So I'm going to say this is a difficult one to call an unpopular opinion. But I'm like you. I don't think he's as bad as some people have made out. So maybe that does make us the unpopular opinions dude. I don't know. But for that one, I'm going to say I actually agree with a lot of it, you know. Next up from Annie V says, Szoboszlai has got to be in midfield as the 8 Jones offers nothing, and McAllister has looked very awful every time he's played. Gravenberch needs to sit in the 6 like he did last season, and we've got to trust one of the right backs. So again, I'm struggling to see the unpopular nature of these, because to me that's a pretty well worded and well thought out opinion, Annie. So yeah, I'm struggling on this one because I don't think it's unpopular at all. I agree, Dominic Szoboszlai should be in his best position, and his best position to me is as an 8 or even just in behind the 10 or alongside the 10. So yeah, like the other one, Annie, I don't know, maybe I'm in the unpopular column here, but I actually agree with you on this one. Next up is Patrick, who said Curtis Jones provides no real positive impact. He's just there. So again, that's probably a popular opinion, but this time I do actually disagree. I've been somebody who's been really critical of Curtis Jones over the years, and if you go back into Jurgen's time, I would have sold him in a heartbeat. And you know what? Truth be told now, he probably would still be one of the first midfielders I would move on. But I do think he brings something. At least he brings an energy and a positivity. And one thing I will always say I admire in a footballer is somebody who doesn't hide out there. Curtis Jones seems to be a scapegoat a lot of the time, regardless of if others around him have failed or not. But I can't really disagree. If I was to move one midfielder on, it would be Curtis Jones. But I just wanted to give you my take on what I've seen as a bit of an evolution of Curtis under Arne Slot. So yeah, I mean, hopefully these get a little bit more divisive as we go on, because these ones are pretty softball ones for Connor to lob in to open up. Next up, Dave said, I don't rate Milos Kerkez from what I've seen. Sorry. So here we go. There we go. This probably is an unpopular opinion, or maybe it isn't. Let me know in the comment section. For me, what I've seen, Dave, is a player who certainly hasn't hit the heights that we would have expected, but also a system that maybe hasn't allowed him. Against Galatasaray, I noticed more of those overlapping runs that we've seen in recent times from him, or excuse me, in previous times from him as a Bournemouth player. That being said, though, there are times where I think he's a little bit too overly eager to get stuck in, to get ahead of his man. He kind of reminds me similarly sometimes to Costas, who used to do that, try to intercept the ball rather than make the challenge and wait for the opponent to get it. If you get there, it's great and you're away. If you don't get there and the player gets the ball and turns you, you're in trouble. So I would agree that we haven't seen the best of him yet, but not rating him, I don't know, man. He's got a body of work from last season that I think shows that he's capable of more than we've seen so far. McAllister said Arne Slot was at the right place at the right time last season. Mo at his best, City at their worst, poor season for Arsenal, inherited team and Klopp mentality, friendly start to the season. Disagree on so many levels with this one. I think it's very unfair of Arne to say all of those things. Let's start with the right place at the right time with the other teams underperforming. That's not our fault. That's not his fault. Teams have underperformed all throughout history of leagues. Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal all won league titles where opponents didn't really run the race with them and they were out on their own with lower points tallies as well. So that I very, very much disagree with. With regards to the team he inherited from Klopp, well, let's not forget, Klopp didn't win the league the year before with the same squad. What Arne managed to do, in my opinion, is prevent some of the injuries that had the wheels fall off her title charge the year before Arne came in. So I think people aren't giving him and Ruben Peters enough credit for that, because they were able to make sure that they balanced out the squad, balanced out the workload, prevented injuries, and did get us over the line. There's no denying he inherited a good squad from Jurgen. The man himself would admit that. But I think it's unfair to say that he was a right man, right time. He didn't accidentally win stuff in Feyenoord, and I don't think he accidentally won the league with Liverpool either in his first year. So for me, I'm saying this is massively underappreciating our manager, and yeah, totally disagree. All the so-called supporters just being negative for clickbait. We are top of the league, FFS. Yet you're all kissing Arsenal's ass and moaning as usual. They're all drama queens. Said caffeinated spirituality. So, part of being a supporter, I mean, let's just start with that part. What is a supporter? Is somebody who gets behind the team, right? But it's also somebody who dreams, somebody who has ambition, somebody who at the start of every season wants to feel that their club is going in the right direction. Would you agree that we've played well this season, my friend? We haven't. And I don't think anybody's, from a supporter's perspective, is kissing Arsenal's backside, but we are seeing that they are a bit more cohesive at what we've seen at the start of this season, and we still have work to do. Part of being a supporter for me, especially in what I do, is trying to be honest, in my opinion. It's trying to praise what needs to be praised and critique what needs to be critiqued. So I'm going to flip it back on you, and I would say that there are too many people that misinterpret critiquing for hate, and that is a bigger problem for me. People that think that to be a fan, you have to be happy all the time, you have to agree with everything, and you can never be negative. That's not being a fan, that's being a sheep. Next up, Vic said, Klopp's team would destroy our current team. So this, to some extent, I would agree with, because Klopp wouldn't have this languid, lazy maybe not the right term, but languid, passive team. He wouldn't allow it. They'd be snapping in, biting into teams and pressing the living hell out of them, creating moments of chaos. I do believe that whole ethos starts from the manager down. So when you have a manager and a captain who aren't the most excitable, not saying that they're not focused, that they're not tactically aware and nuanced, but they try to keep their emotions under check, which is probably a part of why they get to the top. But I'm exactly the opposite. I'm an emotion merchant, much like Jurgen, so I'd be far more aggressive in getting my players to get stuck in. So I kind of do agree that I think Jurgen Klopp's team would probably go through this one, but they'd probably do it in 40 minutes as well and have the game wrapped up by half time, because I love that part of our time under Jurgen Klopp, that we had these 30, 40-minute periods where teams are blown away, and then second half was just a formality and we could go through the motions if we needed to. Next up, Vast Virgil said, selling Harvey Elliott was one of our biggest mistakes. I love Wirtz, but a 10 should not have been one of our key positions to buy. So on the Elliott thing, I understood why the club moved him on. But if you look, he's not exactly pulling up trees at Aston Villa either. And he's been in and out of the team there under Unai Emery. So whether you look at Jurgen's time at the club, Arne's time at the club, or Harvey Elliott's start to his career at Aston Villa, it's all been littered with an inconsistency of selection. Whether that's to do with the managers, what Harvey does on the pitch, what Harvey's doing on the training ground, or a combination of all of those things and what's around him, he's not yet been able to establish himself. Liverpool didn't sell Harvey Elliott because they wanted rid of Harvey Elliott. Liverpool sold Harvey Elliott because he wanted to go and play more football. And the club and Arne were honest enough in their assessment to say, we probably can't give the guy enough minutes that he wants to try to get into Thomas Tuchel's England side. We do have a buyback clause, and I think there's a sell-on clause in there. So I think it was the right decision, but it was still a heart-wrenching one because I'm a huge Harvey Elliott fan as well. Steve Highway said, Frimpong won't work out at Liverpool. It's a really mad situation, this, Steve, because we have two right backs who the manager doesn't seem to want to play at right back. One of them, who was rewarded with a new contract at the end of last season and told that he was going to get a chance to prove himself in Conor Bradley. And then we've got the one that was brought in for 30 million quid that, again, we seem to be in between. If you could combine the both of them, I think we'd probably have the answer. But individually, you got to ask why Arna is still going back to Szoboszlai at right back for a good percentage of the time. So I think we need to find the system that will get the best out of both Frimpong and on the other side, Milos Kerkez. And I think that needs to be more PSG-esque, letting the fullbacks be higher up the pitch, pressing and defending from the front, and penning teams in. So I'm yet to see a cohesive way to get him involved. So I can't really disagree with you on that one. But for now, yeah, he doesn't look like he has a fit place at Liverpool that works in the system and the way we play it. Marcus said, we should have kept Luis Diaz. That's probably a popular opinion at the moment. Again, it probably comes down to what he wanted. He looked like he'd been angling for a move for a long time. And Liverpool, and I can't tell you why, didn't seem to want to give Luis Diaz a big pay bump. He got that big pay bump going to Bayern, seems to have settled in really well, and has spoken about things like players not being selfish in that Bayern dressing room. And I don't know if that was a dig at Liverpool or not. But again, I would say that this was more player-led than the club looking to move him out. Why though we didn't want to give him that contract? I don't know. That one I'm still unsure of. But a lot of people have been saying to me, as you said at the end of that comment, we probably shouldn't have sold them. And look, that's it. I didn't know how many there was, but that is the last one, ladies and gentlemen. So I've reacted to them in real time as honestly as I could. Over to you guys now. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And we'll talk soon. Much love. Bye-bye.